And that news is ABC News.
ABC News Live on Hulu.
ABC News Live on Hulu.
Watch the news you need.
Thanks so much for streaming with us.
Streaming to all Hulu subscribers right now.
Aloha and welcome to S. Tokunaga Store. Let's go inside and take a look. We have a wide variety of fishing tackle. We have everything for the diver. Firearms, ammo, and accessories. Coolers and camping gear. Knives and everything else. From everyone here at S. Tokunaga Store, we say mahalo.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens, or this happens, or this, or this, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So switch to Farmers and you could save. Get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Whether you're looking to revamp or renew your flooring, commercial or residential, with our teams of experts and state-of-the-art dustless system, we can get started on your project much sooner than the other guys. Just ask the flooring specialists. Over 100 different flooring options designed to fit almost any budget. We'll guide you through every step of the way. Visit our showroom or schedule your free in-home estimate at HawaiiHardwoodInc.com or call us today at 808-842-7755. Flooring Specialist is a licensed contractor, license C33719.
COVID-19 updates on KITV4 Island News. Check out island traffic before you go.
You're never more than 10 minutes away from an update.
You'll know exactly what to expect with KITV4's Island Weather.
Davey D Island Traffic, Tasia Worley Island Weather, back to back. KITV4's Good Morning Hawaii. Now, from KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Right now in Good Morning Hawaii, Hawaii's first all-mail-in election comes to an end. We'll have a live report from the Convention Center on the final count for the primary election. Plus, hundreds of thousands of people sending in those ballots across Hawaii, making history. Our state known for low turnout, but not this time, breaking records for our highest turnout ever in a primary. And a big shakeup in Honolulu politics. The two top contenders now moving to the general election in the race for mayor, both newcomers to the political scene. How that'll impact the race for Honolulu Hale this November. Good morning, Hawaii. Thanks for joining us for Hawaii's only weekend morning newscast. A lot to get to. We're continuing our coverage of election 2020. I'm Tom George. I've been here since last night. Got the coffee this morning, but it is not over yet. We do have some races decided, but we are waiting on that final tally over at the Convention Center.
Aloha kakayaka, everybody. Annalisa Burgos here over at the Hawaii Convention Center. It was a busy night. A lot of the staff here has had no sleep trying to get these final ballots counted. I wanted to give you an update on what we're seeing right now. So these are going to be the 17,000 to 18,000 ballots from the city and county of Honolulu that staff members of the state elections office are counting. They're going through, doing their due diligence, and then scanning them through. It'll be a few hours, we're told. We're going to talk to elections head Scott Nago in just a little bit, but I wanted to give you an update on the returns that we've seen so far from the other counties, because this one is just Honolulu County. So starting with the Big Island, Hawaii County coming in with 122,125 registered voters. Of that, 53.3% have submitted their ballots, so a very good turnout, more than half of registered voters exercising their right to vote, as well as on Maui County, the numbers there. Out of 102,835 registered voters, 43,873, that's about 42.7% turning out for the primary election. And then on Kauai, we have 45,135 registered voters. Of that, 22,407 turned in their ballots, 49.6%. So across all those counties, pretty good turnout. A lot of historic records being broken in terms of our primaries here in the state, and they could again, for those counties, the particular races that have been called already, which, with Mitch Roth and Ikaika Marzo headed to the general election for Big Island Mayor. Harry Kim, as we know, tried for his 4th term and was not able to do that, so he is officially out of the general election. The other ones that we can call now, of course, that we reported last night, Rick Blangiardi and Keith Amamiya headed to the general election with 25.4 for Rick and Amamiya 20.4%. Those showings for Honolulu Mayor. And then also for Honolulu Prosecutor Steve Alm and Megan Kao headed to the general election with turnouts of 35.5% and 20.9% reporting for those two candidates. All right, so we'll have a little bit more a little bit later on. Like I said, we're going to check in with Scott Nago for the latest and see how everything's going. And again, back to you, Tom. Just a lot of excitement that we saw overnight, and just waiting to see for those final numbers to come through today.
Yeah, and as Annalisa mentioned, huge turnout this year, and by all accounts, this year's first all-mail-in election was a success. As KITV's TJ Horgan reports, more than 380,000 people across the state turned in their ballots during Saturday's primary. That's more votes than any other primary in history.
At Honolulu Hale Saturday, residents were out in full force exercising their constitutional right, voting for the candidates they hope will best address their concerns.
I think we definitely need to take care of the homeless situation. I think we got some really serious concerns about with the coronavirus, with people staying healthy, and then figuring out how to get our economy back rolling again. 2020
was the first year of mail-in voting, but those who didn't send in their ballots in time could still drop them off in designated reception boxes like these.
It worked fine. Showed up in the mail, waited until the last minute as usual, and read through the instructions, did a little bit of online research for some of the candidates, and then I went ahead and filled it out and dropped it off.
Representative Chris Lee helped write the bill that moved Hawaii to a mail-in voting format.
Voting by mail works in every state that's tried it, but we just weren't sure how quickly people would adopt it here. And looking at the results so far, we've already seen 40% more people voting by mail here in Oahu than we saw in the entire 2016 primary, which is really encouraging.
And for those who didn't vote by mail, they could register and vote in the same day at Honolulu Hale. Until 7 o'clock, that is. TJ Horgan, KITV4.
Yeah, no, we want to head back over to Annalisa. She has Scott Nago, Chief of Elections, there standing by. You know, we've been anxiously waiting those numbers. Anything new, Annalisa?
That's right. Thanks, Tom. So now I'm joined by Scott Nago, the Chief Elections Officer for the state. And just overall, what's your assessment of how the election night went?
You know, it's still going. We're counting the last few ballots that were received from the city clerk's office about 4:30 this morning. These are the ballots that were dropped off at places of deposits prior to 7 p.m. yesterday. They went through their process. We took custody at 4:30, so we're going to start counting pretty soon.
I know a lot of people are anxiously waiting for the results, but again, what was some of the hiccups that you saw? Did it go smoothly? This is the first all mail-in election.
You know, for the most part, it went smoothly. We did see a higher than usual number of voters dropping their ballots off at the places of deposits on the last day. That's why we did get over 1,700 ballots on the last day.
Did we get any clarification on whether those were able to get into the count?
Don't know. These haven't been counted yet. We just received them at 4:30 this morning from the clerk's office. We have to go through our process of opening them up and then scanning them and then counting them.
And then, so I guess what's the timeline at this point? How long do you think it would take to get through this amount of ballots?
You know, I really can't say, but maybe an hour or two.
There were some people that wrote in that said they were trying to get their verification. They had been notified. Is that out? Are those votes not counted anymore?
I'm not clear what you mean by verification.
Some people have wrote in and said that they had been asked that their signature was not matching, or they were asked to resubmit their ballot. So if they hadn't done so already, is that out of the counting?
No, they have 5 days to go and remedy that situation, 5 days after the election, so they can still do that. they would have to go to the county clerk's office.
Okay, so there is opportunity if they received a letter saying that they need to verify or do something with their ballot.
Yes.
Okay, good news. And overall, how are you feeling? I know you haven't been sleeping.
Still going. Hopefully we'll be done shortly.
Okay, well, appreciate your time, Scott. Again, a lot of people have been watching closely how this was going to play out with our first all-mail-in, and now we look forward to the general election.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, and that's Scott Nago again, the Chief of State Elections Officer here, giving us an update, a recap of what's been going on. Sending it back to you, Tom.
I think we can all relate to not getting that sleep right now. All right. Well, meanwhile, one race that already has been decided based on the numbers that we saw yesterday, Honolulu mayor, you see right there. So, of course, nobody had 50%. So we're heading to a general election. That's going to be between Rick Blangiardi with 25.4% of the vote. Keith Amemiya also moving on to the general election, 20.4% of the vote. So those two will face off in November to become the next mayor of Honolulu. But then you see the other top contenders right there. Former Congresswoman Colleen Hanabusa coming in third, narrowly missing the general election with 18.4% of the vote, and Honolulu Councilwoman Kim Pine there with 14.3% of the vote. But as you saw right there, Rick Blangiardi and Keith Amemiya both moving on to the general and taking the lead in the Honolulu mayor race last night. Political newcomer Rick Blangiardi definitely shaking things up, and KITV4's Paul Drews shows us how he managed to pull off his ticket to November.
After the first printout, which represented all the ballots cast through Friday, Rick Blangiardi led in the race for Honolulu mayor, with Keith Amemiya behind by more than 12,000 votes. The top two finishers will now square off in the general election to see who will head to Honolulu Hale, which means instead of campaigning against a crowded field of more seasoned politicians, he'll be squaring off against another first-time contender.
So a very different dynamic. So when we wake up tomorrow, we're going to begin our strategy. We were hoping to get in this situation, and I to be very candid with you, given the contrast in who we are as candidates, irrespective, I think the only common denominator we might have is we're both new to politics.
Blangiardi identifies as an independent candidate, which some feel could hurt his chances with Hawaii's large number of Democratic voters. The office of mayor is a nonpartisan one, and Blangiardi wants residents of Oahu to focus on the job itself.
It's a leadership job. It's about decision making. It's about how people perceive someone they can trust to take the responsibility of the city, surround themselves with the kinds of people who can work hard and work towards a future that's going to be very different than where we've been. It's about that stuff, not party politics.
Blangiardi comes from a business background and used his platform on TV to criticize current Hawaii leaders, from the governor to Honolulu Mayor Kirk Caldwell, over issues he disagreed with. Even though he is now one step closer to taking over the job of mayor himself, he's not concerned about becoming the target of criticism.
You can't please all the people all the time, but if you're doing a really good job, then you can take the criticism. I'm not worried about that. The challenge here is to do the right things by the people of this island.
Hawaii is reeling from the COVID pandemic, and the next mayor of Honolulu will inherit a slumping economy, high unemployment, and healthcare concerns. But Blangiardi wants the job and says he'll step up his campaign in order to reach voters with his message.
We plan to give it everything we have, and we look forward to the next 3 months. We plan to work harder than we've ever worked before. So
Paul Drews, KITV4 Island News.
The voters tonight for turning out.
And another political newcomer, Keith Amemiya, coming in second based on the 10 p.m. results from last night with more than 52,000 ballots. Now that makes up to 20.4% of the vote for Honolulu mayor. This was also the first political campaign for the former head of the Hawaii High School Athletics Association, but he told KITV4 he's ready to hit the campaign trail again ahead of the general election.
There were a lot of worthy candidates in this election. There were 15 of us in total. There were people that voted for 14 other candidates, and I'd love to listen, learn, hear what their issues are and what they have to say, and I'd obviously love for them to consider voting for me in the general election.
Well, if elected, Amemiya said he'd like to focus on reopening the economy safely, building affordable housing, and tackling the homeless issue on Oahu. And candidate Mufi Hannemann tried to get back his position as Honolulu mayor, but he conceded the race just after 9 last night. Hannemann said he entered because of the devastating impact of COVID-19 on the community. He wanted to use his experience to help people return to work and revitalize the economy. He released a statement saying, quote, "It appears the voters were seeking a fresh face at City Hall. Whomever is elected mayor will face a very tough task. I stand ready to assist that person in the difficult tasks that await," end quote. Hannemann will continue his role as president and CEO of the Hawaii Lodging and Tourism Association. And another big race that everyone was watching was the Honolulu prosecuting attorney. And as we said earlier, former Judge Steve Alm leads in that race with 35.5% of the vote so far. Megan Kao second, 20.9%. Jackie Esser coming in third there, 16.6%. So Alm and Kao move on to the general election. And then another closely watched race, the state representative for District 13, that's Haiku Paia Molokini, that actually was only decided by 91 votes. Incumbent Lynn DeCoit coming in with 48.2%, 3,243 votes. Walter Riddy, you know, the activist that had garnered a lot of attention, had also come in very close, 46.9% of the votes with 3,152. Again, that was very closely contended.
Yeah, and as the saying goes, you know, every vote counts, especially when it's that close. Another close race that we're keeping an eye on, this one's pretty interesting. This is state representative for District 26. That covers McCully, Kaka'ako, and parts of downtown. The incumbent House Speaker, Scott Saiki, he's been in the seat more than 25 years. He's also the Speaker of the House. In a tight race right now, Scott Saiki has 47.2% of the vote. He's facing a challenge from Kim Koko Iwamoto. She has 43.7%. She served on the State Board of Education. She would also become the first openly transgender state lawmaker in Hawaii history. A very close race there against the sitting Speaker of the House. And on the Big Island right now, another big upset there, too. The current mayor, Harry Kim, not even in the general election. Of course, he faced a lot of criticism during the 30-meter telescope and the Mauna Kea situation. But it looks like Mitch Ross, 31.1% of the vote, and Ikaika Marzo, 21.2% of the vote. They are going to face off in November in the race for the next Big Island mayor. And again, current mayor Harry Kim defeated the incumbent, not completely locked out of the general there over on the Big Island. And we have a full list of all the primary election results for you on our website, KITV.com. And you can also, of course, stay with KITV4 for continuing coverage of the 2020 election on air and online. All right, well, enough about politics. Let's talk about weather, something better, right, Allison?
Hey, Tom, nice to see you from this side of the desk. I'm just going to keep Annalisa's seat warm for just a few moments while she wraps up our live election coverage. But yeah, taking a live look outside at Honolulu, we are waking up to partly sunny skies and some morning trade showers. You can see some light showers there. Right now it is 79 degrees and we have winds coming in from the northeast at 15 miles per hour. Winds are kind of on the lighter side for right now, but it is going to be a breezy end to our weekend with trades coming in from the east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. And you know what? That'll help a lot with our heat because we actually had a record-breaking high yesterday, reaching 93 degrees in Kahului. Oahu, also a warm spot, 90 degrees in Kapolei and 89 in Honolulu. It'll be another warm day today, but we are off to a bit of a cooler start. Current temperatures are in the 70s. So this morning we just have some light morning rain, mainly over our Windward and Mauka areas, but because of that breeze, it could reach leeward areas as well. Our high is 89 degrees, but thank you to that breeze for keeping it on the cooler side, partly cloudy, and a warm afternoon. Once that rain clears up, our low is 72 degrees. I'll have more on your island-by-island forecast in just a few moments, but first, Tom, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Allison. Your time now, 6:16, and the total number of COVID-19 cases across the state now at more than 3,300. And as that number continues to rise, the state's largest jail reports even more inmates testing positive for the virus. Don't go away. Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back.
Buy a select 2020 Volkswagen today, and you won't pay any interest for the next 6 years. Click, call, or come by your Volkswagen dealer today and get 0% APR financing for 72 months on select 2019 and 2020 models.
Welcome to Elite Animal Hospital. I'm Dr. Joanna Cook. Our comprehensive care ranges from wellness and dental health to x-rays and ultrasounds, laser therapy, and more. Helping pets live their best life. Visit eliteanimal.com.
From beloved family, neighbors, and friends, to celebrated musicians, honored veterans, and first responders. From the beautiful Ko'olau Mountains to Kaneohe Bay. This is a place where memories, like the views, go on forever. Hawaiian Memorial Park, cemetery and funeral services.
Morning, noon, night. Indulgent, delicious, irresistible. Fancy Feast makes delighting your cat delightfully easy. Every recipe, every last detail. Another fancy way to show your love. Fancy Feast. Try savory centers. Pate with a center of gravy.
Hawaii's own seaside hotels are open to take care of you, as we have for over 60 years. Our hotels are sanitized and refreshed with new health and hygiene measures in place and the same spirit of aloha you've always known us for. To say mahalo for your continued loyalty and support, we're offering exclusive Kama'aina deals. Give us a call or visit our website for details. Komo mai. Welcome back to Maui Seaside, Kona Seaside, and Hilo Seaside. Locally owned, proudly Hawaiian.
Buy a select 2020 Volkswagen today, and you won't pay any interest for the next 6 years. Click, call, or come by your Volkswagen dealer today and get 0% APR financing for 72 months on select 2019 and 2020 models.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back. Your time now 6:19, and the number of COVID-19 cases in the state has now surpassed 200 again. The Department of Health reported 231 new cases yesterday, 223 of them on Oahu, 5 on Hawaii Island, and 3 over on Maui. There are now 3,346 cases total reported since late February. There are also now 1,781 presumed active cases right now in our state. Most of them are on Oahu. Now, the state also reported another COVID-19 related fatality yesterday. That brings the total death toll to 31. According to the health department, the elderly Oahu man over the age of 60 died yesterday. Now, it also removed a previously reported death involving an elderly woman on Oahu. Her doctor determined that she actually died from an underlying health condition and not from COVID-19. Well, new this morning, 2 more inmates at the Oahu Community Correctional Center tested positive for COVID-19. According to the Department of Public Safety, they received those results last night. That means a total of 3 inmates are now infected. The health department is working on contacting anybody who might have had contact with them. And also new this morning, another Honolulu City bus driver tested positive for the virus. According to the Oahu Transit Services, that employee received those results yesterday. They're now under self-quarantine. The last day they were at work was on Monday. They were driving Route 42. That's from 1:07 to 10:27 at night. Now, they showed no symptoms while they were driving. All right, well, time now, 6:20, taking a live look out at Kaneohe Bay. Look at that beautiful sunrise there over on the windward side. Allison's going to be back with a look at your weather after the break. More news and weather after the break. Stay with us. Time now, 6:21. You're watching Good Morning Hawaii on your Sunday morning. Stay with us.
Keeping you safe and healthy. KITV4 Island News.
The cornerstone to healthy life is 8 hours of restful sleep. At Slumber World, you can be sure to find the mattress you need to get the best sleep of your life. Using our Dream Discovery system, we can help you identify pressure points causing discomfort and recommend a bed that offers you the perfect balance of comfort and support. Discover better sleep at Slumber World, a local family company providing Hawaii the best sleep choices since 1999.
You ever seen damage just disappear? Well, you're in luck. Act now. Mako is offering their best price guarantee. Uh-oh, better get Mako.
We're here with real answers. Our bankers worked around the clock to help save more than 47,000 jobs in Hawaii. Now, let's talk about you. Make your appointment today at asbhawaii.com. American Savings Bank.
It's here. Instant funding online from SpeedyCash.com. Don't have time to stop by a Speedy Cash store? Get cash now, no matter where you are. Apply for a loan using the Speedy Cash app. If approved, funds applied to your debit card in minutes. With instant funding from SpeedyCash.com. Apply now. It's fast. Go to SpeedyCash.com for instant funding today.
You ever seen damage just disappear? Well, you're in luck. Act now. Mako is offering their best price guarantee. Uh-oh, better get Mako.
Good morning, Hawaii, and welcome back. It's 6:23 on this Sunday, and we're waking up to scattered showers across our islands. Zooming in for a closer look, we're seeing some showers moving offshore near Lihue and Koloa, but take a look at Oahu. A lot more activity here with a band of rain stretching along the windward coast with more moderate pockets reaching Kaneohe and Li'ie. Over on Maui County, we have some showers moving offshore above Molokai with some lighter showers near Hana, and then not too much activity going on the Big Island. This morning, aside from those trade showers, this will focus over those windward and Mauka areas, but once that morning rain clears up, it'll be a partly cloudy and warm afternoon, 89 degrees by midday, but thankfully those breezy trades will keep things feeling cool. Easterly winds coming in at 15 to 25 miles per hour. And if you want to enjoy the outdoors today and take a hike, shout out to Jocko for sending us this beautiful island pic of West Oahu. If you want to take a hike, and if you're not on Oahu and you want to enjoy the beach, we have morning trade showers and a sunnier afternoon. Our high is 89 degrees. That's a check on your weekend forecast. Good morning, Hawaii. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
This segment of KITV4 Island News is sponsored by Pacific Honda.
Get ready, Hawaii. Pacific Honda is having a summer sale like no other. Our showroom is open and ready to serve you. Make a one-on-one appointment and have a representative help you find your perfect Honda. Or visit us online at packhonda.com to build and price your vehicle. Ask about our summer special leasing and financing options. Plus, test drive any new Honda to enter for a chance to win a Vegas trip for two, courtesy of Vacations Hawaii. The Pacific Honda summer sale is happening now. Pacific Honda, home of the happy Honda lovers.
What makes working with Arcadia special is that they're very supportive and encouraging when it comes to me returning to school.
I wish I had this when I was younger. I would have been here sooner, really.
I started working for 15th grade side as a housekeeping staff, and now I'm a CNA. That feeling that you can make a big difference in someone's life is really something. And for me, it's the most meaningful work I've ever done in my whole life.
Aloha. 2020 is a very important year for our Pacific people. Now is the time to participate in the census.
It will only take you a few minutes to complete the form.
It's safe and confidential.
It guides where public funding goes for things like
hospitals for our people,
schools for our children,
fire stations for our communities.
So whether it's your baby's first census
or your 8th census,
it all adds up and helps to shape our future.
It's not too late. Shape our future. Start here at 2020census.gov.
Tara, did you know Geico is now offering an extra 15% credit on car and motorcycle policies?
Wow, okay.
That's 15% on top of what Geico could already save you. So what are you waiting for? Idina Menzel to sing your own theme song?
Tara, Tara, look at her go with a fresh cup of joe, getting down to work early, following her dreams into taxidermy.
It's tax attorney.
I read that wrong, oh yeah!
Geico. Save an extra 15% when you switch by October 7th.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back. Time now 6:26, and hundreds of families struggling to make ends meet right now during this pandemic got a little help at Waimanalo District Park yesterday. A drive-through event. Chef-prepared meals, personal protective equipment, and even school supplies to families in need. Now, the event was held by Child and Family Services. It's all part of a series of drive-through giveaways that have been happening throughout the state. Great to see that. And a big thanks to your help for KITV4's Ho'okupu, or giving campaign. We've now raised more than $45,000. Wow, thanks to everybody out there. And we've partnered up with Helping Hands Hawaii to buy grocery store gift cards for families who are struggling to put food on the table right now. And you can still help out. To find out how, you can visit our website, kitv.com/give. Great to see that. All right, time now 6:27. More news coming up after the break, including our continuing election coverage. Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back.
KITV4 Island News, honored with the Edward R. Murrow Award for breaking news.
It is so cool sitting here with Hawaii football legends, Rich Miano and Greg Salas. Rich, you played 11 years in the NFL. That's a long time.
1 year less than the 12-year all-parts warranty on Fujitsu.
Nice. Greg, you're Hawaii's all-time leading receiver, and you were once described as having hands as sticky as a gecko.
Yep, and you know, Fujitsu has the only gecko warranty in the industry, saving customers thousands of dollars.
You guys really love...
Hey! That's my line.
We love our Fujitsu.
It's time to turn the home you've always imagined into the home you never want to leave. At Homeworld, you'll find everything you need to breathe new life into your living room, dining room, bedroom, or outdoor space. Homeworld is locally owned and has quality brands that deliver the style you're looking for at a fantastic value. Visit us online at homeworld.com or visit us in store and get professional insight from our home furnishing consultants. Let us help you create your perfect home at Homeworld.
In business, success is in the details. It's why Dietrich is the preferred insurer for many of Hawaii's successful retailers, popular hotels, and celebrated restaurants. At Dietrich, we know the smallest details matter. That's why we're just as meticulous about protecting local businesses as we are about protecting people's cars. Call Dietrich or your insurance agent.
Buy a select 2020 Volkswagen today. And for the next 6 years, the time it takes a child to learn to walk, read, and start school, you won't have paid a single cent in interest. 6 years of interest-free payments. Click, call, or come by your Volkswagen dealer today and get 0% APR financing for 72 months on select 2019 and 2020 models.
Now, from KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
All right, welcome back. Time now 6:30 on the dot on your Sunday morning, and President Donald Trump signed executive orders to address the economic fallout that we've been dealing with from the coronavirus pandemic. As Karina Mitchell reports, Democrats criticized the measure, calling for Republicans to resume negotiations.
President Trump sidestepping Congress Saturday night, issuing an executive order and 3 other directives, restarting unemployment benefits but cutting those weekly checks to $400, 75% to be paid by the federal government. The other 25% must be paid by the states, extending eviction moratoriums, deferring interest on federal student loans, and enacting payroll tax cuts, something opposed by both parties.
Through these 4 actions, my administration will provide immediate and vital relief to Americans struggling in this difficult time.
However, the Constitution gives Congress, not the president, control over federal spending. Yesterday's move likely to face legal challenges, especially by cash-strapped states who've shouldered much of the financial burden fighting COVID-19.
If legal action is brought against you on this, why not just work with Congress on this deal?
Well, I'm not saying they're not going to come back and negotiate. They might very well come back and negotiate.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer released a joint statement saying, in part, these announcements do nothing to increase testing, nothing to reopen schools, nothing to put food on the table for hungry families, nothing to prevent heroes being laid off across state and local government, nothing on many critical needs of the American people. And as parents in school districts across the nation grapple with how to return kids to schools safely, concerns over a rare illness linked to COVID-19, multisystem inflammatory syndrome, or MIS-C, which attacks a child's vital organs. Alarming numbers from the CDC showing the illness has killed at least 10 children, sickening nearly 600 others. Much like the virus itself, MIS-C is disproportionately impacting Latino and Black children, accounting for nearly 3/4 of all cases. And health experts say obesity is the most common underlying medical condition. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
And a new study shows the struggle to keep food on the table could cause long-term health issues for Americans. Researchers observed 25,000 people over 10 years. They found that people who experienced food insecurity were more likely to develop serious health issues like cardiovascular disease. Researchers say dying early from heart disease was 75% higher in food insecure people. That study was published in Sage Journals. Well, back here at home, COVID-19 forced the Department of Education to turn its fall plan for reopening on Oahu upside down. The return date is still the same, August 17th, but as KITV4's Eddie Dowd reports, those changes that were announced left some parents even more frustrated.
To the point where, like, I just was looking to just pulling my kids out of the whole system and just looking into full-time homeschooling rather than distance learning.
Keisha Mohiki has 4 keiki in public school. Her top concern is safety.
You know, you hear one thing and then you hear another thing from a different source. It's very, very confusing.
Local nonprofit Parents for Public Schools Hawaii believes frustration grows because plans differ from school to school.
Our organization appreciates that the school empowerment model, but when it comes to health and safety, I think we feel that there needs to be guidelines that everyone follows.
According to the DOE, different factors are considered like campus size and student population, making a blanket approach nearly impossible. The new plan brings students back for 4 days starting August 17th. Then it's distance learning for at least 4 weeks.
I mean, people are worried now, so if it's going to be more than it is now with 200 cases a day, then yeah, I don't think kids should be in schools when the cases are that, growing.
With classes closed for about a month, working parents are again asking the burning question, how do I balance work and childcare?
My 2 older ones are a lot older. They're the ones that are helping me, which is the biggest challenge that I'm having, depending on my 2 older ones to be the caregivers of my younger ones.
And like some of the schools, every family situation is different. Older siblings are not always there to help. Eddie Dowd, KITV4, Island News.
And meanwhile, some studies have shown that antibodies can produce some immunity against coronavirus, but the problem is that immunity can also disappear within weeks or months. As Anna Stewart explains, researchers right now are trying to determine just how effective those antibodies actually are at preventing you from getting reinfected.
To be honest, the symptoms have never gone away.
Sue Stanton thought she was one of the COVID long haulers.
The fatigue, the aches and pains, brain fog.
Suffering symptoms for weeks after her infection in late March. 2 negative PCR tests in April seemed to signal the road to recovery. Then, in July, she tested positive for the virus again.
It was quite a shock, to be perfectly honest.
A shock too for England's Public Health Organisation, which ordered further swab testing.
They had some hopes that they'd be able to identify whether it was a new infection, whether I'd caught it again, or whether it was a relapse from my first infection. And my understanding is that they've not been able to determine that.
To date, there are no confirmed cases of reinfection anywhere in the world. Immunology experts think the vast majority of people do develop protective immunity once they've had the virus, at least for the short term, but perhaps not all.
These stories we're hearing, they're the exceptions. Perhaps we know that if you look at levels of antibody in different people, it's like firing a scattergun at the page. There's some people who are way up there with loads of antibody and some people who are way down there with almost none. And what if these are examples of people who had almost none, who are unlucky and meet the virus again and just don't have protection on board?
I had a positive test for antibodies at a private clinic in May, having been ill a few weeks before with COVID-19 symptoms.
So I'm back 3 months later to see whether my antibody levels have dropped.
Recent studies have shown that these antibodies can decline rapidly after infection, bringing into question just how long-lasting this type of protective immunity is.
Here we have my result from last time, and here we have it today. Now, you can see that my IgM is negative, which I would expect. I don't think I've been infected recently. My IgG has come down, but it's still positive. So I hope I have some level of immunity still, although how much protection antibodies ultimately give is still unknown.
If I knew I had antibodies on board, it probably wouldn't make me go and stand shoulder to shoulder in the crowd at Glastonbury or something, because I wouldn't take my confidence quite that far. But I wouldn't expect to get reinfected if I was, an average sort of person.
While experts still stress reinfection is highly unlikely, it offers little hope for people like Sue Stanton. Despite 2 positive PCR tests over 3 months apart, she's never tested positive for antibodies.
Is this something that I'm going to have ongoing? Is this something that, I'm never fully going to recover from? What are the implications for that? Will I ever be able to go back to work the hours that I normally do? What are the consequences of that for me and my children? It's something that I try not to think about too much.
Anna Stewart, CNN, London.
And if you've been home a lot more because of the coronavirus pandemic, we tell you wash your hands, probably sound like a broken record, but don't forget about your teeth. You might have been tempted to skip brushing and flossing, but it's more important than ever to stay on top of your oral health right now. Now, researchers found a potential link between chronic gum disease and COVID-19 complications. Scientists say oral diseases increase your risk of respiratory illness. When bacteria from the gums travel through the body, it can complicate how a COVID-19 patient actually responds to treatment. That study was published in the California Dental Association Journal. Meanwhile, the CDC says people have been getting sick and even dying from drinking hand sanitizer. Don't want to do that. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration also warning the public to look out for methanol, which is a toxic ingredient found in some sanitizers. It can even poison people through their skin. 15 adults in New Mexico were hospitalized between May and June for methanol poisoning. 4 of them died and 6 developed seizures in the hospital. All right, turning back to our continuing coverage of election 2020, a history-making primary, record turnout, a lot of races still decided, but still waiting on those final numbers. Want to head back out to Annalisa. What's the latest?
Yeah, hey, Tom, we're here at the Hawaii Convention Center. You can see behind me state election staff counting 17,000 to 18,000 ballots left for the city and county of Honolulu. The other counties have already submitted all their ballots. That's what the election officials have told me. But these volunteers and staff are actually going through, vetting each one, and then unwrapping them from their envelopes and then putting them through the scanners. Let me give you an update. The latest printout that we had for the other counties, not Honolulu, is at 1:17 a.m. Those numbers, let's start with the Big Island, Hawaii County. 53.3% of voters came out, of registered voters submitted their ballots, so 65,034 voters, and so the election there, election results there are already called. And then for Maui, we have 42.7% of registered voters submitting their ballots, and the elections there also called as well. And then on Kauai, 49.6% of registered voters submitted their ballots and voted at service centers as well. So what we're waiting for today here at the Convention Center is the Honolulu final counts. As of last night, it was 48.8% of registered voters have submitted. But again, across the board, across all counties, pretty strong turnout during this first all-mail-in election for Hawaii. The counts today from these ballots won't really affect a lot of the races in Honolulu, so we can safely say that Rick Blangiardi as well as Keith Amamiya are moving on to the general election for the Honolulu mayor. That was the closely counted one. And then the other big race that we were following out of Honolulu was the prosecuting attorney. Let's take a look at those results. Former Judge Steve Alm coming in with 35.5% of the vote, so he's moving on. His opponent during the general election will be Megan Kao with 20.9% of voters choosing her. And then third was Jackie Esser with 16.6%. So again, Steve Alm and Megan Kao moving on to the general election in that race. And another closely watched one that actually was only decided by 91 votes was for state representative for District 13, and that's the representative that will oversee Molokai as well as Lanai and East Maui. And in that one, incumbent Linda Coy keeps her seat. She got 48.2% of the vote. 3,243, the number there. Walter Riddy, of course, made a very good contention against her. 46.9% of the vote. Like I said, only 91 votes deciding that particular race. All right, that's the latest here. We'll check in a little bit later. We're waiting for that final count from the 17,000 to 18,000 votes still for Honolulu County. Back to you, Tom.
All right, thanks, Annalisa. Meanwhile, another close race that we've been following, a potential upset here. The current Speaker of the House, Scott Saiki, fighting for his political career in the District 26 seat that he's represented for more than 25 years. That's the Macaulay Kaka'ako downtown Honolulu area. The incumbent House Speaker, Scott Saiki, right there, has 47.2% of the vote. He's facing a stiff challenge there from Kim Koko Iwamoto. She has 43.7% of the vote. She, of course, served on the State Board of Education and would also be a potentially history-making candidate. If she were elected, she would be the first openly transgender state lawmaker in Hawaii history. You see a very close race there. Again, Annalisa says Honolulu County still outstanding, so we're going to keep an eye on that one. Meanwhile, turning over to the Big Island, though, this one already decided, but an upset nonetheless. The incumbent mayor, Harry Kim, faced a lot of criticism during the Mauna Kea situation over the 30-meter telescope. The incumbent mayor there actually not even moving on to the general election, coming in third, as a matter of fact. So the general election there on the Big Island going to be between Mitch Roth, who got 31.1% of the vote. He'll be facing off against Ikaika Marzo with 21.2% of the vote. Again, Marzo and Roth going to be facing off to become the next Hawaii County mayor in November. And again, current incumbent mayor Harry Kim, longtime mayor there, losing his seat there over on the Big Island. All right, we'll switching gears now from politics over to weather. A more fun topic there. Annalisa's got to look at your Sunday forecast. How's it looking out there?
Annalise is at the convention center, but I'm in studio. We're going to have a breezy end to our weekend with trade winds coming in at 15 to 25 miles per hour. And thanks to a ridge of high pressure far north of the state, those strong trade winds are going to stay in place all week long. And so current temperatures are in the mid to upper 70s, 80 degrees in Kaneohe there. And then windward areas should stay generally cooler and have more cloud coverage and a higher chance of rain. That's where we'll have our passing trade showers this morning. Again, those windward and Mauka spots, 86 degrees in Kapa'a, 88 in Barking Sands. Leeward areas should be sunnier and dry, although our strong winds have the potential to push isolated showers to these leeward areas. Taking a look at Oahu, 85 in Kaneohe and 90 degrees in Kapolei. Make sure you stay hydrated if you're heading outside today. Maui County, 85 in Hana, some light passing showers there, and 87 in Kapalua, 91 in Kahului. And taking a look at the Big Island, 85 in Hilo, partly sunny there, 88 degrees in Kailua Kona. And here's a check on your extended forecast. Our breezy trades and warm temperatures stick around all week long. Our highs in the upper 80s to the lower 90s, but thankfully we have that breeze in place to keep things on the cooler side. There's a check on your weekend weather, Tom. I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Allison. This is how long I've been awake right now since election coverage last night. It's been a long night. All right, time now, 6:45. Major airlines done with anti-maskers. We'll show you how they're tightening up their travel policies to keep passengers safe. Plus, an incredible encounter all caught on camera. We'll show you this tour boat's footage that you don't want to miss. Stay with us. More news and weather coming up after the break. Time now, 6:45.
This segment of KITV4 Island News is sponsored by City Mill.
Need something? Try Check City Mill. Whether you have a green thumb, black thumb, or even two thumbs, City Mill's got your garden needs covered. Need something fast? Try Check City Mill. Now with buy online, pick up in-store. CityMill.com makes researching and buying so much easier. And your order's ready in 2 business hours. And don't forget to sign up at CityMill.com for special offers, promotions, and events. Need something? Try Check City Mill and CityMill.com.
Board of Water Supply, keeping Oahu refreshed for 90 years.
Make Shoji Hawaii an integral part of your home design plan with customized designs that fit your living space. Shoji doors add a sophisticated look to any room. More than just walls, doors, and partitions, we provide functional art. A Shoji room divider can turn a studio into a one-bedroom apartment, or a one-bedroom apartment into a two-bedroom apartment. Maximize your property value or rental potential while adding beauty to your home. We also do repairs. We serve all of the islands. Call us today for a free estimate.
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, like how nice it is to save on your auto policy. But it's even nicer knowing that if this happens, or this happens, or this, or this, or even this, we've seen and covered it. So switch to Farmers and you could save. Get a quote today.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum. This is Good Morning Hawaii.
All right, welcome back. Time now 6:47. The CEO of Delta Airlines says the carrier has banned more than 100 people for refusing to wear masks during flights. Passengers can't get on board without covering up right now, but some people keep refusing to keep the masks on, and that's caused disruptions, and it actually forced at least one plane to have to return to the gate. Delta says those who refuse will also be banned from booking future flights on Delta. Well, Alaska Airlines offering flyers a chance to get a row all to themselves. This weekend, it's having its buy one, get one sale from the West Coast to Florida and everywhere in between. Travelers who purchase a main cabin fare can get a second ticket for just the taxes and fees. Now, this deal is good for travel through October 31st. Masks are required and middle seats are blocked off through October. Well, none of the major cruise lines will be setting sail anytime soon. It's suspended at least through October. That's according to the Cruise Lines International Association. Those members include some big names like Carnival, Disney, Norwegian, and Royal Caribbean, all not setting sail right now. The group says it's holding off for the health and safety of passengers and crew. Well, time now 6:49. It's an awe-inspiring sight, all caught on camera. A group of friends on a boat had a close-up experience with a humpback whale. Josh Brogadier captured this video from the encounter.
All from the North Shore, three of them here out on a boat Friday afternoon saw this whale just a quarter-mile offshore. They followed it for about half an hour, giving it space, surprised it was only in about 30 feet of water. Hoping, and then the payoff.
Yes! But it's like unbridled joy, like it felt like a kid, you know, like back when we were all young, and it's like just something so exciting you can't control yourself. It was just like, it was amazing.
And we're a little bit closer. That's when its tail came out and we noticed that it was really a humpback. And then to have it breach in front of us like that was shocking.
Oh my God. It was really exciting. It was really just right place, right time, and really lucky and grateful to see nature at its best.
Oh, that excitement. The breach is well worth another look. Right in front of them, they were only about 50 feet away. A whale tail or fluke, these friends will never forget.
All right, turning now to weather, we're taking a live look out at Waikiki Beach with Diamond Head in the distance. Allison Valdez, a good day for surfing?
Hey, Tom, not too bad. Check out this girl who's ready to catch some waves. Shout out to Darren Miyashiro for sending us this photo. If you want to see your photo featured, send it to pics@kitv.com. We have breezy trade winds today, and those easterly winds are whipping up our waves. We have choppy 4 to 6 foot waves for our east-facing shores, and 2 to 4 for the south, and 1 to 3 for the north and west. High tide this morning is around 8:40 at 1.3 feet. And heads up, boaters, we do have a small craft advisory in effect. This was expanded from yesterday now to include waters around Oahu and Kauai. We have east winds 15 to 30 knots, and that'll be strongest in the channels around Maui County and the Big Island. That's in effect until 6 o'clock tonight. Now, taking a look at our Doppler radar, not too much rain to tell you about on the Big Island. A little bit more sunshine to start the day in Hilo, with more clouds filling in later on this morning. Over in Kona, partly cloudy all morning long. Maui County seeing some light showers moving in toward Hana and north just offshore of Molokai. Meanwhile, on Oahu, we have a band of rain stretching all along the windward coast with some passing showers as well for Mauka areas. In Honolulu, partly cloudy skies to start our day. And for Kauai County, some scattered showers moving offshore near Lihue and Koloa. Here's your hourly forecast there. Partly cloudy skies across the entire state. And heads up for news around the nation. A magnitude 5.1 earthquake rocked Sparta, North Carolina early this morning. About 2 a.m. Hawaii time. Moderate earthquakes like this hit the area every few decades. So this is a pretty rare event. Thankfully, it only caused slight damage. About 45,000 people felt it. That's a check on your weekend weather. Tom, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Allison. Well, meanwhile, turning to news around the world, anti-government fury is boiling over in Beirut following the devastating blast that killed over 150 people and wounded thousands more. Protesters took to the streets Saturday demanding political reform. Arwa Damon is in Beirut right now with more.
The Lebanese are furious, and angry demonstrators made that abundantly clear during Saturday's protests, displaying nooses inside downtown Beirut, and also some of them attacking and temporarily taking over a series of government ministries. The Lebanese prime minister came out and said that they would be passing legislation to allow for early elections, but that is highly unlikely to appease this population, because this level of anger is not just about the explosion that took place that devastated and crushed the soul of this city. It is about the economic downturn, the endemic corruption that took place, the reality that the currency has taken such a spiral that right now people's money is worth 75% less than it used to be. About 70% of the population prior to this explosion, according to international humanitarian organizations, was in need of humanitarian need. They can barely find money to put food on the table. How are they supposed to find the money to be able to rebuild? There is an international conference taking place in Paris, a donor conference, and Western countries and others that are partaking in this have made it abundantly clear to the Lebanese authorities that this is not carte blanche for them to be able to do what they want. There are certain reforms that are to be expected for this country right now trying to rebuild itself. They are not turning to their leaders. They are turning to one another. Arwa Damon, Beirut.
And today, Japan is marking the 75th anniversary of the atomic bombing of Nagasaki. Survivors and families of victims offered flowers and prayers at a memorial ceremony in the northwestern city. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was in attendance and paid respect to the victims. In 1945, the U.S. dropped 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, killing tens of thousands of people. More people died later from burns or radiation-related illnesses. All right, well, time now 6:54, and if you got some big plans, whether it might be hanging out with friends, a vacation, or even a wedding, the pandemic has been saying otherwise. We'll show you how brides and grooms are finding some new ways to celebrate their love. Time now 6:54. Don't go away. Good Morning Hawaii. We'll be right back on your Sunday morning. Stay with us.
KITV4 Island Weather, sponsored by Kapili Roofing and Painting.
Protect your home from Hawaii's next severe weather event with a new roof from Kapili Roofing. Local, family-owned Kapili Roofing has been providing peace of mind one roof at a time for over a decade. From small repairs to large commercial re-roofing projects, Kapili Roofing has the knowledge and experience to install a roof you can count on for years. Ask about our GAF Master Elite warranty and how you can earn up to 40,000 Hawaiian Air miles with a new roof.
Kapili Roofing, building peace of mind, one roof at a time.
Here at MVFCU, we're all about helping members. Our credit and debit cards have no annual fees, so to encourage you to use them, we're giving away $500 every Friday. The more you use your card, the more chances to win. Every purchase over $50 on your credit card earns you 2 entries in the weekly drawing, and someone will win every week. We want you to use your MVFCU cards first, just like we always put you first, our members. It's $500 Fridays, thanks to MVFCU.
Would you like to enhance your outdoor space? Do you know Carports Hawaii can shade anything you have? Carports, patios, aluminum pergolas, sail fabric, commercial and residential. Carports Hawaii has got you covered. Call us on 808-829-6561 for more information and ideas. Or find us online at carportshawaii.com. Senior and military discounts always available.
Thank you, Hawaii, for your votes in KITV4's Best of Hawaii's Viewers' Choice Awards. And congratulations to
Sweet Creams is Hawaii's original locally owned ice cream and roll store. Make life sweet by visiting us today.
Watch KITV4 Island News tonight at 10. Rick Kwan, weeknights on KITV4 Island News tonight at 10. This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back. Your time now 6:57. And as this pandemic scrambles couples' plans for big gatherings, micro weddings are in right now. As Whit Johnson reports, brides and grooms are looking for some downsized celebrations, and many companies have some solutions to help them tie the knot.
You may seal this declaration with a kiss.
As the pandemic made large gatherings like weddings impossible, people across the country made a shift.
We had a micro wedding.
We decided to go a different direction.
So we'd already been engaged for 2.5 years, and we didn't really want to put it off any longer, so we decided, let's have a micro wedding.
Many couples deciding to not let COVID-19 stop them from expressing their love, instead scaling back. A micro